I'm Katrina Walker. Welcome to Unbreakable Truths. My guest this week is Charreah Jackson, author of Boss Bride, the powerful woman's playbook for love and success. This former senior editor at Essence Magazine is now an executive coach who runs her own company, Studio Social. Hi, Charreah.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
And I'm happy to have you here. Girl, we got so much to talk about. You've been busy, right?
It's been a busy decade.
I just want to know, and I guess the first thing that comes off the top of my head, you know, how amazing you are and how professional you are and working a job. Can you balance working a job and have a marriage, a man, and treat him good at the same time?
I think you are a living example that yes, it's possible, because I think we are in a time where you represent a lot of professional women. And so I know for me, I wrote my first book, Boss Bride, The Powerful Woman's Playbook for Love and Success, because I was a young woman who had that exact question.
Yeah,
and so
I
was.
That book too. Hold on just a minute. I got that.
You got your copy?
I got my copy, and everybody needs to get their copy.
Thank you.
This book is amazing. I'm loving it, okay? And The Powerful Woman's Playbook for Love and Success. So again, you know, you can balance and make sure that that man is happy at home.
Absolutely. And you see that, like, that's one of the taglines on the book is go hard and go home. It's the 4th chapter in the book.
Okay.
Because we do get a lot of messaging, especially as women, that you will have to choose, right? Either I can have a career that has me excited, or I can have a relationship that curls my toes. But what if we gave ourselves as women and we created a culture where we could have both? And so for me, I interviewed over 100 women who I call my working wives.
Wow.
And so they really distill for me, what is the strategy if you want to win at home and at work, and this high culture where there were high rates of burnout, high rates of loneliness, high rates of women starting businesses. How do we do it to build a life where we have sustainable success?
And how do we do it?
Well, the first part is for women like you, and I see it in your own life, is that you have to be strategic. You have to set that intention that give myself permission that it's possible, and then create a plan to execute.
So what do you do, and I'm not meaning to cut you off, but it's just coming so fast in my head. What do you do when you have a man in your life and he doesn't want you to really, you know, move upward and start your own business?
Absolutely. Well, first, for those women, I think specifically, we see the high rates of women starting businesses.
Yes.
And the reality is, if you, as a woman and inside of a marriage is a business. It's two entities joining. Our finances are shared. Our credit can be impacted. I could take on your debt. And so if you're in a relationship and you decide, in a marriage specifically, and you decide you want to start a business, it is a family conversation.
Yes.
And so you do want to check in with the household. But for women who might feel that pressure, you want to make sure, you're with a partner who is supportive of your long-term dreams.
Absolutely.
So for most business owners, they'll tell you they started their first business when they were young. So for most entrepreneurs, you've always been that. So for women who are single, don't hide the fact that you are ambitious, because you want to know early that someone will be supportive. And so even in the book, I have 4 signs to check to see if someone will be supportive of your career. Because we are in a time where the world has changed, but our expectations are still catching up.
And I'm so happy to hear that the world has changed, of course, but the expectations has actually caught up. Because, you know, back in the day, you know, my mama couldn't drive. A lot of women didn't work, you know, and they had to wait on that male figure to come home on a Friday, if he did, and give her a couple of dollars, you know. So those days have changed. Women are out here in the workforce, starting their own businesses, you know, and just using their brain, you know, their minds, you know.
You
and
have
I'm just
to,
so proud
and
of
our families are better for it, because there was that time. I know that was true for both of my grandfathers were farmers, and my parents grew up, you know, in a time where one check from a father who hadn't gone to college could take care of a family of 4. And we know what the rates have stagnated. So if the men I encounter now are happy not to feel the pressure to carry everything themselves.
And you know what? That's a blessing, because to hear that some men, there are men out there that's supportive. And they want to see their women, and they want to uplift her, you know, to do these things that she want to do in her life.
Absolutely. For women, and if you are a woman, like you said, your question, if you're a woman who find yourself shrinking, or that your partner isn't supportive, you want to have that conversation, because it's not just going to be with the business, it'll be other things, but you want to make sure that your partner feels a part of your business, right? Feels a part of your life plan, because once you join in union with another person, we're in a relationship, and so what I do
Yes.
impacts you. So we want to have those conversations. One of my favorite couples that I interviewed was Holly Robinson Pete and her
Wow,
husband
and I love that.
Rodney Pete,
Yes.
and they have State of the Union meetings in their marriage where they meet and say, how are you doing? What are your goals? They meet and they have honest conversation around how you're feeling, because yes, you are a union, but you still come into this world and you leave this world as an individual.
Right.
And so what happened, and they're very honest, she talks about once he retired, some of the low moments in their relationships. When he retired from the NFL, he, like a lot of professional athletes, he went through an identity crisis. And so he had to reinvent and reimagine who he was. And so that impacted their relationship. When their son was diagnosed with autism. That impacted their relationship. And so we have to have that open conversation, because if you don't feel I'm a safe space to share what's going on with you, then that will impact the quality of our relationship and our family.
Wow. You say you interviewed 100 women.
Yes.
And what were the results that you got from that, from the other women? What were they actually saying?
So they really planned. Yes, it is, to your question, yes, it's important that we commit to learning our partner to understand what are your needs, and I'm gonna do my part. Now, it's not my part to make sure you're happy and satisfied in life. That's your part. And I think we are conditioned in this culture to think that I'll meet somebody and then my life will be happier. But if I'm not happy, I only attract people to me who are also not happy. And I had to do a lot of work on myself, and I write about in the book how before I could get in better relationships, I had to heal the abandonment I had from my dad not being around. I had to be honest with myself, and not hide in my career, not hide from the fact that no matter how much money you make, the loneliest place to ever be, and if you look at prison, the worst punishment is what? Solitary confinement. And yet we have a lot of people in our culture who are consciously choosing to live like they're in prison because they're so by themselves. You're so isolated. You don't really let people in. And technology has allowed us to pretend and create a facade, post some pictures, when really we're lonely. And so we all have an innate desire to be connected to people, to be loved, and that's very, but it asks us to be vulnerable.
You know what I love most is now that women are becoming really serious. We know Beyonce wrote the song or sang the song about an independent woman, but women really are independent. And to see young women, because I was that woman, I've always had to get out there and work. Or the word is hustle and grind now. You know, we didn't have names attached, but it's hustle and grind. But just to see young women out here doing their thing. And
I think it's important. I think we are a generation of women where we have more opportunities than any generation before us.
Absolutely.
But I do think, I love my Beyonce, but I think, I hope that for us the goal isn't necessarily independence as much as interdependence. Because we all still, you don't want to work so hard and put all your energy into a career that you don't also feed the other parts of your life. And so as an executive coach, I encounter a lot of professional women who have gone real hard for their career and then look up and they don't have the quality of relationships. They don't have the relationship with their family. They don't have a friend circle. They don't have a romantic partner. And so we work to sort of integrate more harmony in your life, because you don't want to be successful at a party of one. You want to be in community.
So and I totally agree with that, but I guess my thing is
to not be dependent on him for the money.
Be dependent,
I
just
hear
say,
you on that.
let me get with this ball player so he can do this, and I have a couple of kids and I'm set for 18 years. No, use your head.
And you know what? I was you just brought something to mind, but the game has changed. One of the things I included in the book is like, now women have to beware of soul diggers.
Girl, did you say soul digger?
I said
soul digger. Look, I done heard of a gold digger, but you just said what is that?
Thank you for the question. I've been waiting on this. And so we live in a time where, unfortunately, women are primed to be soul dug. You said so a gold digger, historically, men are told, hey, watch out for women who are just coming after your money. Women are never told to watch out for men who want to take advantage of your nurturing, want to take advantage of your tender loving care and your financial and your credit. And so we're at a time where women have grown professionally. We're making more wages. We're more educated. We're starting businesses, but we also have been conditioned to nurture and take care of everybody. So we're primed, honestly, to potentially be victimized if we're not building up our self-esteem, if we're not being conscious to date somebody who is bringing their share to the table. And so a soul digger, worse than a gold digger usually, she just wants your money. A soul digger, he wants your money, he wants you to cook a meal, he wants you to pray for him, so you just want to make sure.
Do he want your heart too?
He want everything.
Oh my.
And I love love men. So I'm not saying that, there aren't great guys who are there, but I've seen enough women I know who end up in situations.
Well,
they see the good in a person, which isn't bad, but you have to know that it's not your job to raise or save grown people, and especially grown men.
You know what? I never knew it was a title to it, but I've been, somebody done
soul digging.
They done dug up on me. Thank you, here.
I'm not laughing.
I just didn't know. Thank you so much.
You made it out.
You you have really shared with the world. Soul digger came from you. You started
we gotta be careful. PSA right here. You're hearing the first.
Yes.
Unbreakable truth.
Yes.
Beware of soul diggers.
Yes.
But it's real, and we have to have the conversation as women. And I've seen a lot of women go through it and then feel shame, and so they don't share it. But once you really get at a brunch and the mimosa flows, there's a lot of pent up aggression and frustration that women feel like, oh my gosh, like I didn't see it coming. Yeah. And men are told, hey, beware of it, but we're never told
and you're
that.
actually taking care of this man. You know what I'm saying? All of his needs, he's coming to you. Well, like I said,
you open up your pocketbook
every payday.
and something else.
Husband number one was picking me up only on Fridays on time to beg me out of my check. So they out there. But I didn't know it was a title. Now I know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Beware of the
soul diggers.